Books! Let's talk about books. Hey you, welcome back. I'm the Lit Wizard. I like literature. I think it's lit. And I'm a wizard. And today we're trying something a little bit different. I'm taking my first stab at a reading vlog. Bear with me. It's going to be a little bit scary, but we're going to have a nice time. Almost every video that I've done so far, someone in my comments has recommended that I read The Stand. I'm a really big fan of 11/22/63. I've read Pet Sematary, but other than that, I've never been able to finish a Stephen King book. I've tried The Stand many different times, and every time I've DNF'd it before the 100-page mark. I'm convinced if I can get through that 100 pages that I'm going to have a really nice time. It won my poll as to which Stephen King book I should read next, and I'm a man of my word, so I'm going to give it another shot. A vlog is not something I've ever done before. I've never recorded myself in different places. I've never had to do B-roll of any kind before. You'll really see the progress throughout my video as my camera quality, my setup changes. I have a lot of thoughts on The Stand. I had a lot of thoughts throughout the few weeks that I was reading this book. I cannot wait to share them with you. Let's get into it. Okay, so I'm a little over 100 pages into the book. From what I can tell so far, there's some sort of massive virus outbreak that has happened from like a government facility. One guy fled, took his family with him, crashed into a gas station. Those gas station workers got infected. The paramedics who showed up got infected. The police got infected. And we're now following a bunch of different people and kind of seeing how this virus is spreading and how quickly it's spreading. I don't know yet if this is just like a virus that's going to kill a bunch of people like the plague, or if this is going to be some sort of like zombie virus. Fingers crossed for zombies. Pretty much everyone from the gas station except Stu has died, and they're trying to figure out why Stu hasn't been infected. We've also met Franny and Jess, but we haven't really come back to her since we first met her. I have a feeling she's going to be important. I don't know if maybe her or her baby are like the key to like solving this virus or something. Or maybe at some point we just get to see like a cool zombie baby. I'm also fine with that. Another standout character that I really like so far is Nick. We meet him. He gets beat up by a bunch of people in this small town. Then we see that the sheriff gets sick. By default, gives Nick a job and then makes him the sheriff deputy. And it seems like the sheriff might actually die. And from there, I'm assuming that Nick will become like the de facto sheriff in this post-apocalyptic world. I feel like there has to be something else going on here with how contagious this virus is and how quickly it kills people. Are the people the real danger, like a classic kind of post-apocalyptic story? Or is there something else going on that I haven't thought of yet? I'm excited to find out. I'm actually genuinely really enjoying it this time. I think this was the right time for me to finally read this. Let's read some more pages. Good morning, friends. It is day 2 of me reading The Stand by Stephen King. I realized in the first part of my vlog that I didn't talk about Larry Underwood. We were really just getting introduced to him at that point, and one thing that I find really interesting is the whole scenario of this struggling musician who's finally made it, and now, oops, there's an apocalypse. It's very ironic by Alanis Morissette. I'm enjoying his character. I'm not quite sure where it's going to go yet. He's not my favorite. Right now, my favorite is Franny. There's a point where she's talking to her father about her mom being sick and the flu, and she makes like an AC/DC flu made who joke at a really inappropriate time. And that's very on brand for something that I would do. Her father had just passed away. Her mother had already passed away in hospital. So she's this really fun character, but she's also going through this really hard struggle that we're watching. And I really relate to that as well, because I lost my dad during the pandemic, and it's not easy, especially when you're in this scenario and you're in this world where there's a lot of death happening and you have to kind of pick up and move on, and it's kind of weird. It's not traditional. I'm hoping we see more Franny. I'm hoping she becomes a bigger part of the book. I have a feeling that she will. It's also wild to me how accurate he was, given that he wrote this book in the 70s and 80s. You have people right away accusing the government of conspiracy. You have the government referring to the virus as like the Russian flu. And then you've also got this big group of people that are actively sick with the virus. They're sniffling, they're coughing, they're sneezing. And at the same time, they're denying that the virus even exists and physically attacking other people who are trying to spread awareness of it. One thing I've been particularly confused about is the way that some people on the West Coast are referring to the virus as Captain Trips. I don't get the reference. I don't know if that gets explained at some point, but that's been tripping me up. So at this point in the book, the world is really falling apart. Everything is crumbling. Systems are crumbling. So we're starting to see this kind of revolution. We're starting to see people kind of like band together and start to fight back against the military and back against the government. I'm almost positive at this point that it's not going to be like a zombie style virus, and it's going to be more, how does humanity respond? How do people react in this kind of situation? I'm not sure how much more reading I'm actually going to get done today. We will see. I've got a lot of work to do. I have a day that's packed like back to back with meetings, and I will follow up with you guys as soon as I have another update. Good morning. It is day 3 of reading The Stand. Did not get a lot of reading done yesterday. Unfortunately, not feeling the best. Read probably about 50, 75 pages. This morning, I am in my car. I'm on my way to take Poppy to Moo Time. Are we gonna go to Moo Time? Are we gonna go? Are we? Okay. Moo Time is daycare. So she's gonna go to daycare for the day. She's gonna play with her friends. I'm gonna take a sick day. I'm not feeling my best. I haven't taken one yet this year. Sick days are there to be taken. And so I'm gonna take one. I'm gonna relax. I'm going to try and get some reading done, maybe take a nap, and I will follow up with you in a bit. Hello, still day 3. Haven't done any reading yet. I was about to start trying to read at home, but I just wasn't feeling it, and I don't have to read at home. So I've got my coffee with me. I've got my book with me. I'm gonna go open up my sunroof, park by the ocean, and read with a view. Well, for 95% of the drive here, I had to follow the world's slowest ambulance, but I'm here, I'm reading. I can't think of a better, more relaxing, quiet place to read than this. I read for about an hour. Beach is starting to fill up with people, so I'm about to head out of here before it gets too loud and noisy and filled with children. I just finished the super long chapter where Rita and Larry are trying to escape New York through the Lincoln Tunnel. I have opinions on Rita and that whole dynamic, but I will save those until my next update. Goodbye. Okay, I'm home. Listen, Larry, you are in an apocalypse. The world has ended. You can't just pick up strays in the park and take them home with you. This woman doesn't even know how to pick a pair of shoes for the end of the world. She's 30 years older than you. She's some sort of like rich black widow. I don't know what is going on in your mind, but you have to make some difficult decisions in the apocalypse, and this woman is a liability. I hope she doesn't get you both killed, because insurance isn't going to pay for that. This woman is basically a walking pre-existing condition. She can't be trusted. She's slowing you down. She's gonna get you killed. I don't trust her. Something bad is going to happen. Mark my words. Aside from that, I'm really enjoying the story still. I'm really enjoying the different characters that we're seeing. I'm interested to see how our little, what's his name, Lloyd, our prison fellow, excited to see how he gets out, what happens. He's not just going to die in there. He seems like he is wily enough to figure something out. It also looks like we're now back in the Franny POV, so I'm looking forward to seeing more about what's going on with her and her neck of the woods. I don't know what I expect, but I feel like shit is gonna go down anytime now. Not that it hasn't already, but like shit is more gonna go down. I have some more things kind of around the house that I have to do tonight, but I will follow up with you again tomorrow with some more thoughts. But that's it for day 3. Good morning. Hello. How are we doing? This is a weird angle. We haven't done this before. Do we like this? I don't know. We're going to work with it. Okay, I recorded this once already, but I realized that I was moving around way too much and I was making myself seasick. So we're gonna try this one more time. I finished part 1 of The Stand last night, which I'm thrilled about. First of all, apologies to Rita, rest in peace or whatever. You know what? No apologies to Rita. I stand by what I said. She was a liability. Larry is going to be better off without her now that she's like OD'd in her tent. Best wishes, safe trip. Looking forward to see what's next for you. We also went back and saw our friend Lloyd in prison, who's now a cannibal. And he's been saved by like a shadow magician guy. I don't know if there's something like supernatural going on here. I don't fully understand it yet. Maybe I'm not supposed to. I'm just gonna like trust the process and see what happens. This is clearly also the same guy that's been like popping up in people's dreams or nightmares. So there's something going on here, and I'm looking forward to getting some more information on that. It's a weird one. I wasn't expecting like a supernatural element, but I'm here for it. It now seems like he's coming for Nick, so look out. I'm rooting for you. The other update we had was on Stu and Franny and her new husband, Harold. Harold and Franny left. They left a note to say where they were going. They were going back to West Virginia to try and see if somebody was working on a cure for this virus. And they are going to be sorely disappointed because that's where our friend Stu came from. Stu himself made a new friend along the way. Met a fun guy with a dog who was doing some painting and stuff. Went to his house, had a few beers, then left and went back on his own, where he ran into Franny and Harold on their motorcycles. Not a fan of this Harold guy. Gives me weird vibes. He's given me the ick. I'm sure his heart's in the right place, I hope, but he's given fedora kind of energy to me right now, and I'm not vibing with it. Franny, chill as hell. As usual, Stu is gonna team up with them, be a third person. Despite Harold not trusting him, flipping out a little bit, he was able to gain his trust a bit. Though it seems like Stu also has a thing for Franny. I don't know what's going on there, hoping he also has good intentions. That's where we wrapped up. I really need to get into part 2 today. Try and wrap up some of my work a little bit early maybe, and I can get some extra reading in. Making really good progress. Everything is on track. Appreciate you guys. See you soon. So I'm gonna be honest, it has been a few days since the last time I updated you. By the time I got about halfway through the book, the chapters started getting really long, uncomfortably long. I'm somebody who likes short chapters. So I prefer to be able to just sit down, knock out 1 or 2 chapters in one sitting. I don't like to leave a chapter unfinished. But when you get about halfway through the book, all of a sudden the chapters take you an hour, hour and a half to read, and you don't always have an hour or an hour and a half uninterrupted to read. So I was getting to the point where I didn't even want to pick it up because I wasn't sure that I'd be able to read a whole chapter, but I'm pushing through. I am having a great time still. I am still really enjoying the story, but that was a genuine issue for me. I really struggled picking the book up and almost thought about DNFing it again, just purely based on that. Now I'm glad I didn't because everything's really coming together. So we had the fallout between Franny and Harold when Franny finally told Harold that she didn't love him and that she was in love with Stu. And we immediately saw that shift in Harold, and he steals her diary and reads through it. And he seems to have cracked and is now siding with Flag. I told you guys that he was no good. I told you. We've also had our friend Larry Underwood, who no sooner does he get rid of Rita, he picks up a couple of more strays. So now he has Nadine and Joe with him, the kid who tried to kill him but then turned out to be a guitar prodigy for some reason. And the last time that I put the book down, Larry Underwood had finally kind of caught up with the rest of the group and was requesting to speak with Miss Abigail. Everybody has kind of finally come together who we've been following, and then we have kind of all of the bad guys that we've been following who are now grouping up with Flag and with his crew in Las Vegas. So we know that they're going to have the winter to prepare. They're starting to talk about forming governments. They're starting to talk about long-term game plans and what this stand is going to look like when it comes in the spring. It's clear now that that other big part of the story that I felt like I was missing was this big stand. It's obviously now not just this plague, it's the rest of humanity kind of coming together and making a stand against evil. I will say I wish we were focusing a little bit on what was going on in the rest of the world as well. It's very hard for me to believe that the entire fate of all of humanity rests in this southern and western United States, and that nobody else in the world seems to be involved in that battle. I'm hoping we see more of that come together. That feels really far-fetched to me, but I can't wait to see how it plays out. I like the foreshadowing that's happening in this book. I'm glad you guys convinced me to finally give it another shot. If you have made it this far into the video, please like the video, please subscribe. 90% of my viewers still are not subscribed, which is fair for a brand new channel, but I think we can make that number a little bit better than it is right now. Hope you're having a great day, and I will check back in with you soon. Hey, again, it has been a couple of days. I actually just finished setting up my new space yesterday with my new bookshelves, which I am very excited about. And I just finished recording a part 2 to my 5-star book series, which is very exciting. And thought that this would be a good time to give you a little update as to where I am with the stand. Last night, I finished part 2, which means I am extremely close to finishing this book. I think I only have like 220 pages or something left. So they've now formed a society on the good guy side. They have close to 1,000 people. They've formed a government. They've reinstated the Constitution. They've made Stu the police force, I guess, for this new society, which is crazy. It should have been Nick. He was already a deputy, really. It would have been really easy to put him in place. Nick got robbed. Since we last talked, Harold has now hooked up with Nadine, which is insane. Franny figured out, because he left a thumbprint with chocolate in her diary, that he had read the diary. Then she broke into his house trying to figure out what he knows or what's going on, because he's being all secretive and weird ever since he snapped. What she didn't realize was that she left a footprint in his basement, which he was then able to match back to her because of the unique pattern on the bottom of her shoes. So now Harold also knows that Franny broke into his house and that Franny probably knows that he read her diary. Then Franny and Stu, or Franny and Larry, I don't remember who it was, break into Harold's house again, not giving two shits, kick in the window, find the ledger that they figured out was hidden under the loose stone or the loose whatever inside of his house, and are able to read all of his rantings and ravings and plans and ideas to kill Stu. So it must have been Larry, because Stu wasn't there. Larry had rejected Nadine's advances, which then drives her to move in with Harold and start this like weird kinky sex thing with him. Whatever. Have a nice time. Really happy for you guys. They decide to come up with a plan to blow up the government that they've put together, including pretty much our entire main cast of characters, by creating this shoebox bomb that is connected to a walkie-talkie. And Francine, partway through the meeting that they're actually having, starts getting really bad feelings, starts getting this like premonition that something bad is going to happen, rushes everybody out of the house or the apartment or whatever it is, but unfortunately not fast enough, because we lose 9 people, I think. Though, I mean, really, the only one that really mattered was Nick. The rest were kind of side characters. But that's a bummer. Really sad about Nick. He was one of my favorite characters. Tom Collins is going to be really upset. That also brings us to Tom Collins, which had actually happened prior to this, so I'm kind of bouncing all over the place. But Tom Collins has been sent to kind of infiltrate the other side. They figured because he's simple-minded, I guess, which, I mean, rude, he would be easy to manipulate and to hypnotize to do what they want him to do. So they send him. They figure, you know, he's an easy target. Nobody will ever think that they'd send somebody like Tom Collins. And then at the next full moon, Tom can kind of come back and bring them all this information about the other side. Now, they obviously needed redundancies in place as well. They also sent the judge, who is the first person they actually sent out, who's like a 70-year-old man. Best wishes to the judge. And they also sent out some other lady, Deidre, D something. Somebody that I didn't really pay attention to. Throughout all of this, Miss Abigail really became this like theological figure. She gets this message from God and is told to like go out into the woods for whatever reason. She finally comes back to like warn them of the impending explosion. And at that point, she had essentially like withered away to nothing. She was barely alive. The lady's already like 600 or 700 years old or something crazy. I think it's like 106, but you get my drift. Really old. But she wakes up just long enough to tell the other men in the group that it is their duty, that God wants them to go to the west and confront the dark man. And that's where we are now. 200 pages left, 220, whatever it is that I said earlier. We're almost there, guys. We're almost at the end. After DNFing it as many times as I have in the past, we're there. Goodbye. Okay, I have 100 pages left. I just hit 1,052. I'm hanging out with my dog in my pajamas, reading The Stand. Tomorrow I have to leave for a 3-day work trip to Toronto. I'm not going to get it finished in time to release this vlog this Tuesday like I wanted to, which is all right. That gives me some extra time to edit. But okay, so much has happened. Before we get into the last 100 pages, we started chapter 3 with the judge and his kind of, or I guess book 3, with the judge and his journey. That obviously went really poorly because we know that Randall Flagg, or the Dark Man, can see shit and see what's going on. So he sent people to intercept the judge. They were supposed to bring him back alive, or at least in a shape that was recognizable so they could send back his body. But that didn't happen. So he died, and so did the guy who killed him. Then we jump over. We're looking at Deanna. She was found out because obviously he knows what's going on. She was brought to him and interrogated. She knew that he would be able to get the information out of her as to who the third spy was. So rather than him being able to extract that information from her, she just straight up killed herself through a window. Boom, dead. He's really pissed off. Things are starting to fall apart. We run back into the lady who Nick and Tom Cullen had seen really early. I also realized I'd been calling him Tom Collins. That's not who it is. He's not Phil Collins. He's Tom Cullen. She was the one that they had kind of like flirted with, that Nick slept with when they first started their journey together. She's now there with the Dark Man, which makes sense. And she recognized Tom Cullen and decided to report it to Lloyd. They were unable to find him for whatever reason because of his simple-mindedness. He's not able to like read his mind or see what's going on or see him when he's doing his like dark eye kind of evil eye vision thing that he does. Tom Cullen is on his way back. I think he's going to intercept our other group that we have, the guys that are coming from Colorado and are moving west. So fingers crossed that happens, because Stu just like fell down a cliff and is probably going to die or be left there. I don't know what's happening there. One of them we know for sure is going to die based off of Miss Abigail's premonition. So could it be Stu? Quite possibly at this point. There's only 100 pages left. The other thing that was kind of going on in the background is we have the trash can man, or the trash man, or whatever his name is. He was going around setting fuses on different things to get them to explode. So all of their planes, their helicopters, he seems to be sabotaging the Dark Man's side, and he's not even sure why. And now he feels like he has to make up for it. So he found this military base out in the desert where he was able to find an atomic bomb. And now he's like hauling that back up and is taking it back as like an apology. Before we actually saw where the guys were on their journey, I thought they got there early and might have done the sabotaging themselves, and the trash can man was just taking the blame. But no, it seems like it was actually him. He's not sure why. Some sort of force is guiding him to sabotage that side. I think that force is Nick, because we have also seen Nick coming to Tom in dreams like Miss Abigail was, where he can actually talk and is explaining things to Tom and is guiding Tom. So we're at the end. We're at the final stretch. We're at the last 100 pages. I'm going to finish it today, and I will check back in with you with my final thoughts soon. Okay, genuinely, what the hell was that? We got 1,000 pages. You had 1,000 pages to build up this journey. It's called The Stand. I just wanted The Stand to happen. You know what? Never mind. We'll get to that in a second. I realized that I forgot in my previous vlog, my previous update, to talk about Harold. Harold died. Oh well, goodbye. That's why I forgot. Who cares? He got what was coming to him. He fell off the bridge or whatever, hit an oil slick that was clearly set up on purpose by the Dark Man, broke some limbs, had a tumble. Nadine wouldn't save him. He shot at Nadine, tried to kill her. She left anyways. He confessed in his notebook that he was wrong, and he died. Oh well. Goodbye. Nadine continues on to the west, meets up with the Dark Man, gets impregnated by him. They all get mad. He has a fight with her. He throws her out a window. She dies. That whole storyline was also really for nothing at the end of the day. One thing that I'm extremely happy about is that Tom Cullen did meet back up with Stu. They found each other. Kojak stayed behind. Our best friend, our favorite dog, took care of Stu, and then Tom Cullen shows up and with the help of Nick is able to find the medication that they need to save him, to keep him alive, and make sure that he can get back to Franny. But what really pisses me off is the rest of it. We had like an 1,100 page buildup to The Stand, to what is going to happen in this final showdown between good and evil that's depicted on the cover of the book. We have 5 guys, or 4 guys, however many guys we got, who were sent to walk from Colorado to Las Vegas to make this final stand against the dark side and to have good finally win. And they show up, they get caught, they're about to get executed, and then one of their own, the trash can man, rolls in with his atomic bomb, and whoops, pew, lightning comes out of the sky, which is clearly obviously from Miss Abigail or God or whoever, sets off the atomic bomb. Everybody in that entire area is wiped out. All of Las Vegas, goodbye. There was no reason to walk from Colorado all the way there. That would have happened regardless. They didn't need to murder themselves. There was no reason for them to walk to Las Vegas and get blown up by a bomb. They could have stayed behind. The bad guys would have taken themselves out anyways. I don't understand what the point was. I'm frustrated. I did some research afterwards and I found out that Stephen King himself didn't know how to finish the journey, didn't know how to finish the book. So he just thought, bomb, we'll blow everybody up. I guess. But then we have our happy ending. Stu makes it back. Tom makes it back. Tom gets to go back to his weird ass house. Stu gets to have his baby that lives. Yay. That whole storyline was a bit of a, no real payoff there either. The whole, what's this baby gonna do? Was it gonna repopulate the world? Is it gonna save everybody? Is it gonna be the cure for this disease? No, it just lives, which is great. And I'm really happy for it, but it just lives. They decide to leave the comfort of civilization for some reason and go to Maine. Because of course they do, it's a Stephen King book. And then at the very end of the book, we see the Dark Man again. He for some reason washes up on a beach with some remote tribe. But that was where we left off on the stand. I am frustrated, but I'm glad that I read it. I still rated this book 4 stars. I enjoyed the journey. I enjoyed the characters, very much like Lonesome Dove, but I did not think that this book was better than 11/22/63. It just wasn't. That's just my opinion. I had a good time. I'm glad you guys finally got me to read it. I want to hear from you in the comments below what you thought of the ending of The Stand. If you made it this far in the video, thank you. This was an experiment. I've never done a vlog before. I learned a lot along the way. Every video I try and learn something new and make it a little bit better. I appreciate you being on that journey with me. Stick around, join our community, like, subscribe. Reading is a treat, and so am I. I'm gonna go read some Dungeon Crawler Carl. Goodbye.